let's get going on the holder side. Looking at this this geometry, 1/2 inch all the way around. We don't really have a virtual sharp for the length, so we're going to have to take into account, either in the sketching or the fillet, the 0.7 radius, and then the let's see, the centers are going to of the 1/2 inch clearance holes are going to be pulled off of that. So let's go ahead and get started sketching. Pull up our part inch, front plane. Let's go with the lines. Put the corner for convenience. I'm going to get a little closer. I'm using the scroll wheel to zoom out just a little bit as I go. Looking for that inference line. Bring that back. Alright, so that'll give us a reasonable starting point. I could have gone into the tangent and drawn the radiuses in that way. We can also do the fillet, 0.78. Pick our vertex, and accept. We'll get the dimension. Oh, let's get out of the fillet. Alright, so our base dimension, bottom dimension, is 13.77. And these numbers should be familiar with from the base. And 15.37. Okay, so at this point, I think the other geometry, that's the inside geometry, it's going to be a little easier just to go ahead and extrude this. Okay, so let's go with the sketch. It rotates in. We have a 1/2 inch off of corners, so if I pick those 3 sides, and if we go up to sketch, probably is on the S key, but we'll go with the offset, and requires selecting offset model edges. Okay, so apparently it did not like my pre-select. Yeah, they're in, oh, there they are. There's the yellow. Cannot see that one, so something's going on there, which, well, let's go ahead and get those two. And we'll put that one in parallel. And go to 1/2 inch. And then, kind of like the convert entities, the endpoints of our offsets, if they're open, are not defined. So we can pull those. Even though they show up in black, they will stay there. And we won't have to make any adjustments with them, but they are movable. So we can close those off. Let's see, for whatever reason, the one step looks a little bit, and I just grabbed the midpoint, so I'm not really sure I want that. But let's go ahead and close these off. We'll see where these numbers fall out. I was looking at that one, that's going to connect there. Okay, so, well, I thought I had the midpoint on one of these. Nope. Oh, it does, but it's not defined yet, so. Alright, so that one goes horizontal. Let's put a few dimensions to help decipher this. So 8 inches to the top. And can see the gap there, so 5 inches to the side. And then 5.54. Oh, haven't put that one in yet. Then the 550. This would help to make it 5-inch 550. And then 1/2 inch between. Oh, they've actually put a 14 on that. Alright, so let's figure out what we're doing here. 14. Alright, so that works out with the math. Alright, so nothing on the bottom side, so we'll go with an angle. Looks like about 45 degrees. Well, it also could be that we want to go perpendicular to the angle. And not really liking that one, so Control Z. And there's the perpendicular. Nope, I didn't Control Z enough apparently. Alright, so let's try one more. And since it's not called out, I'm thinking the 60 is about good there. And just doing a quick check, we have geometry, and that looks like it's a little bit of a mismatch and not called out. So that being the case, I'm gonna just make the judgment call that that one will come all the way over. Alright, so we have the 540 when you have that one. I left those guys. Oh, I keep saying 540, the 5-inch 540, so just do one more. Get into the line command with the L. Horizontal. Okay, we'll go ahead and accept. Get out of the line so that we can select and Control Select. I'm just going to make those collinear. And I picked should see it close up there. So I picked that one. Let's see if we can drag that out, which occasionally we can. Otherwise I would just delete it and put it back in. Alright, so decisions on this guy with the radius. Let's just see what we get there. Is that going to be linear? It's going to go normal too, so and I can leave that dimension driving just as a reference. And we'll see what we get there. Because the radiuses are going to close that up a little bit. And don't want to forget, see the little blue dot. Want to make sure that that gets defined. Alright, so maybe not exactly like the picture, but pretty darn close. Alright, so we're going to cut through. And we'll go up to next, or through all, and pick the regions. Alright, and then are we ready for fillets? Not really. Let's go ahead with the whole wizard. Personally, I think the 560 and the 280 on the clearance holes is pretty big for these. I can see the 2 decimal place if we go with 515 or 520, something like that would be would be good. Alright, so I'm in the hole. Let's go to fractional clearance sizes. 1/2 inch. Let's see, so, fractional drill, I needed screw clearances. I combine those. Let's go with the loose. Show the custom sizing, so they're at, call it 550. Let's go up to 560. Don't want to do anything with countersinks there. We'll get our positions. Positions should be at the center. We can double check those. Let's go ahead and put a dimension in place. And again, these are going to be driven dimensions for verification, because as long as the hole locations, and that's kind of the risk, if the hole locations were to change because of the 0.78, well, that went to center. Well, it's just a consideration at this point that if my assembly goes strange, that one goes to 1 inch. So that would be a good reason to double check these. So the one said 0.78 on the end, but not 2 places. Alright, so that one makes sense that, no, still at 1 inch. Okay. Well, we could have caught that at the assembly level, but if we can catch it here, that makes it a little bit better. So switching from driving to driven, or driven to driving, right click, and we want that to go to 1 inch. Yeah, that looks strange, but we're going to stay with their numbers. So again, from driven to driving, we need to get rid of that coincident then. Alright, those are still showing up in blue, and we need to change the other two. Alright, so that kind of alleviates that that issue with the centers, but certainly doesn't look the same. Oh, there it is. Point. Okay, let me double check, because I pulled that as the diameter. Radius of 1 inch, 2 places. Alright, so that would have made that work. Diameter of 0.78. Oh, that's the pin location on that side. Alright, well, I totally misread that then. So let's just go ahead and get rid of that one. And we'll leave the dimensions. And the quick check. Alright, so that's making a lot more sense now. Okay, that looks better. Still don't know about the offset in there, but go with this 0.78, and that 0.78. Wow. I know that when I looked at that pin, and it was 0.75, that's going to be quite loose. So let's see what we get here. If we go with the fractional sizes, show the decimal values, there should be 78125 if we were going to drill the hole, but 30 thousandths of clearance is quite a bit. Alright, so in this case, I'll go ahead, now that I've verified my numbers, figured out what I'm looking at, put those guys in. Alright, one more on the S key. Going into the hole wizard then, we're going to switch to, oh no, these aren't threaded, the other ones were threaded, so still hole, still screw clearances. We'll pick up the 1/4 inch. They're still showing that as loose. Let's see the custom sizes, 281.2. That's fine for 2 decimal places. That'll work. And then our positions kind of stay zoomed up in that area so I don't miss these. And there and there. Alright, so these are going to be horizontal and these are going to be horizontal. And in this case it doesn't really matter if I go left to right or right to left because I'm only picking that geometry. Alright, so that takes care of the verticals and the horizontals. So we have, nope, the top one was the 0.25, so let's go ahead and get rid of that one. Take the, thought that was the vertical. Alright, double check, horizontal, make sure I'm highlighting the vertical. It gets deleted, that one goes to 0.5. Let's look up that one. Well, I'm not sure why it kept it when I took the relation off, but okay. 2.5 and enter. And 5.25. And then the last one is at 9 inches. And off of the base, we have the 0.375. So maybe that's why they... Alright, so that's pretty close. After saying ½ inch all the way around, it wasn't all the way around. So let's figure out that offset. So we're going to have, I think the ½ inch is good here. And we're going to see why in just a second. The breakout's not going to work very well. Okay, so back to the first sketch. Nope, second sketch, the cut extrudes. And we're going to look at this one since when I delete that, it's going to warn me about the offset. So we go to 0.75 here. Don't believe it's going to keep the geometry on this side, but since I didn't do a lot of trimming to this internal geometry, that should be pretty good. Rebuild's okay. All right, looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead with the fillets then. We'll find the first one. Since I'm here, I'll use the little box. Try to find that interior. So that's the interior connected. Starting internal loops. Should be able to grab all of those. So they highlight. And you just have to pause on that next selection. So once it's in the fillet command, I have the first edge, applied the radius, apply the second edge, wait for it, and to do the pop-up, and then it will let you apply those. So we'll fly this back in. So you can kind of see just visually a little bit of a mismatch there, and it reduces that area. A little bit of a mismatch there reduces that area, but we've already decided that there will be a breakout if we stay with the ½ inch, and since I don't see another dimension, we'll go with that, and then I'm just going to do a real quick check. Oh, and since I have a minus sign, we're going to edit that sketch real quick. I was just going to check for the 1.88. And since I did not get that, that should cause me to go fully defined. We'll accept. Alright, so let's make sure to save this. Kind of give it a once over here. And this will be the holder base. Oh, side. I just looked at that. let's go holder side. All right, we'll finish this up and be on to the connections.